my car really likes this stuff. Oh yeah, Violetka. Oh, it is very close, but this is a beautiful place for doing videos. You will see in just a moment. Today's video is definitely something worthy of watching if you have family members, if you have friends, as everyone does, inevitably. Oh! Oops, a couple scratches here and there won't hurt. My name is Mike or Avi. Welcome. Today's video is going to be discussing Pregabalin, but it's not actually me who is the star of today's video. It's a family member of mine. I'm not going to say who to respect their privacy, but I'm just going to say it's an elderly family member. And the elderly and the young are most prone to side effects with Pregabalin and antidepressants. Except the problem here is that he or she didn't go to the doctor that's a psychiatrist with mental issues, but rather for leg pain and more specifically nerve pain. And they weren't prescribed just Pregabalin for this problem. You see, they were prescribed 3 horrific drugs: Cymbalta, Lyrica, and Trazadone, all in one go, and lidocaine, but that's not as bad. So 4 drugs for nerve pain. I get it. A lot of doctors don't know what to do with nerve pain. It's very difficult to treat, and opiates don't really work with that. But tell me if that is not a killer cocktail. It is overkill. It's too much. And she felt bad after taking Pregabalin. So we are going to make today's video for you guys, with your family, with your friends. Watch out, everybody. My name is Mike or Avi. Let's discuss Pregabalin and a little bit of Cymbalta and Trazadone as well. Warning, YouTube, this video is for educational content, and now with my content demonetized, seriously, like, this channel is to prevent others from falling into this trap. Not everyone needs these psychiatric drugs, and they are way overprescribed. I think there's a lot of severe cases where in some they might help because the side effects don't outweigh the positives of these drugs. However, in many cases, if you're a normal individual like I was, it can really screw you up. And in this case, you do not even need to go to a psychiatrist. There's a lot of GPs, your normal physicians, who are prescribing these drugs for pain purposes. And to me, it's just a little bit weird. Like morphine, everybody realizes opiates. Okay, gotcha. Well, they're painkillers. They're painkillers, and they're not really for depression, they're not for anxiety, they're not for this and that, bowel syndrome. They're just for pain. So, to me, it's a little bit weird where you get these anticonvulsants, the antipsychotics, the antidepressants, and they're going for multiple things. They can be painkillers, they can do that for epilepsy, they can, reduce anxiety, if you have paranoia, if it's bipolar, and it's just like all over the map, like a shotgun approach. And scientists and researchers and doctors don't really know 100% how it works. They know 90% of the picture, and then they're guessing the rest of the 10%. They're like, well, if we connect the dots, obviously it has to be this, a chemical imbalance. Yet, there's many cases of people just freaking out and experiencing very bad results with not just 1 drug or 2 drugs, but a whole slew of them from different categories: antipsychotics, antidepressants, anticonvulsants, benzodiazepines, amphetamines. It just goes on a long list, and you start believing that you have a mental disorder yourself, or you might have actually gotten one because you've gotten brain damage. So I'm not against the pharma industry. I'm not going to go conspiracy theory mode. But to me, first of all, it's worrisome that a doctor would prescribe 3 hard drugs. These are hard drugs. Just one of them can severely change your life in a negative manner because of the withdrawals. And even if you don't experience withdrawals, it's very rare, but some people don't experience withdrawals, well, you might experience some horrible physical side effects that lead to mental side effects, or you might get both. And the risk is just too great. And when you combine, for example, Cymbalta and Pregabalin, well, you can go on Facebook and you can read the reviews from thousands of people. So if it was 100 people, maybe everybody's lying. But if it's thousands, Pregabalin has a group called Lyrica Survivors. It's got 9,000 people in it. And if you don't believe that, well, there's groups online, on forums, and on normal talk websites where there's thousands of other reports and people rate it from 1 to 10 stars. And there's some people who rate it high and say, yes, my pain is fine. And those people, unfortunately, are the ones who are suffering severely. They had like some spinal deformities, or they got into a crash or whatever. And the side effects are there. But again, the side effects don't outweigh the pros. However, there's a large number of people giving 1 stars saying it's ruined their lives. There's these huge list of side effects in the acute phase of withdrawal, during taking this with interdose withdrawals, and then protracted acute withdrawal syndrome, pause. And that's where it gets really, really funky. Or just brain damage, because once it starts getting into a couple years, does pause still exist at that point, or is it brain damage? It's hard to discern. So there's Lyrica Survivors for Pregabalin, and there's Cymbalta Hurts Worse, and that's got 4,100 people in it. And you can start researching. So you got thousands of people who are saying it doesn't work. There's a lot of side effects. And then you got people who are taking cocktails. What I witnessed personally, being prescribed immediately Pregabalin with 75 milligrams in the morning, 75 milligrams at night. That's 150 milligrams. The doses are way too high. And after a week, it was supposed to be 300 milligrams. And that's probably why I am effed up to date. And it's been 10 months of hell. 10 months of hell. And for my family member, where they were prescribed 75 milligrams, and then I found that's a huge dose right there in itself after I did my research with Pregabalin. And then I realized, well, they take it at night, but then they get Cymbalta in the morning. It doesn't make sense. It's illogical because they're two very similar medicines, and I don't understand why you need to combine them. They're similar, but they still function a little differently, and your brain recognizes that. So whenever you mix drugs, you're going to have to taper off of them one by one if they were to take it, long term. But I told my family member, like, you took one pill, that's it. That you're not taking anymore. I'm sorry, but you can't. Like, it's your choice ultimately. You can if you want to, but you see a good example right here. Like, you've heard me whine every week since this. So if you want to be like me, or possibly worse, hey, that's all on you. And, they took one pill of Pregabalin and they started feeling really bad, where they got like anxiety and these paranoid thoughts where they don't know where it came from. It just did. And they couldn't really walk upstairs. It was difficult to see at night. Oh my God, that's just what one pill does to you, right? It's difficult to sleep. One pill. Imagine taking that every single day for weeks. Some people take it for decades. The adverse effects of antidepressants include movement disorders, agitation, sexual dysfunction, improper bone development, improper brain development, gastrointestinal bleeding, and a variety of other lesser-known problems. Let me include tinnitus into that, and visual snow, depersonalization, but that fits in sort of with anxiety. These are not rare events, but the most significant harm comes only after months or years of use, which leads to the false impression that antidepressants seem quite safe. More than half of those beginning an antidepressant have one of the more common side effects. While some side effects may not carry serious health risks, others do. Gastrointestinal bleeding can become a life-threatening condition, and improper bone development in children is a serious problem that can lead to increased skeletal problems and frequent bone fractures as they age. It has been shown that serotonin exposure in young mice impairs their brain's cerebral development, and many researchers believe that the use of SSRI medications in pregnant mothers and young children may predispose children to emotional disorders later in life. And there's a whole slew of other problems if you're pregnant and taking these antidepressants. That happens with a lot of drugs. I'm well aware of that. But, oh man. And it's also been interesting to read these studies of how antidepressants and anticonvulsants can lead to dementia. Not only that, but a lot of other drugs. And it's surprising because there's a lot of Americans who are taking these drugs, and the numbers of dementia, it's rising. the numbers of suicide, it's rising for certain age groups, and it's just terrifying. Sure, there's more people in the world, but these numbers are rising faster than population is. So that's the video. My family member knew about my pregabalin problems, but they didn't quite understand because, again, they're elderly. They went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, this one's for sleeping because you're having trouble sleeping with the leg pain. I understand. So this one's for sleeping. It was Trazadone, an antidepressant. Yeah, it can help you sleep, but so can hydroxyzinium, or even Xanax would be better than Trazadone. Short-term Xanax. Long-term, no. But, God, melatonin and just... I don't know. I'm amazed that this cocktail was allowed. It's crazy, and there's millions of these people who take these cocktails because they don't know anything, and then they listen to their doctors, and you have people who end up killing themselves or ending up in the hospital with serious brain injuries or So, my family member asked me to look at the box, and I just saw it was Pregabalin, which in Polish is Pregabalin, and a lot of people have trouble discerning between medications because of the names and the chemical names, but if it's 90% of the same thing, it is the same thing. And the name doesn't really matter because it's going to change if you're in Europe or Asia or America, but the chemical name, that's what really matters. So just inform your family members. If anyone's taking Cymbalta or Pregabalin, share your experiences, or even Trazadone or SSRIs, that fits in too. And let me know what you think about that. The doctor pretty much overprescribing my poor family member. And I know nerve pain is a difficult condition to treat, and there's not enough drugs, but oh man, even gabapentin in a way would be better than Pregabalin, and even that is, but that's my video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like, comment, subscribe, and share. Check out this dope tree. I used to love going out in nature, and now I still do, but in a car. Because I feel so much safer in here. And it's great. I don't know, it's like the random paranoia, but I love it. Ugh.